So in 2018, I've been trying to avoid replaying Monolith Soft games constantly, like I've been doing very frequently, and giving less attention the past couple years to a lot of newer games or games in my backlog. I'm really trying to focus on games that I've had in the collection that I just have never had a chance to quite get into, especially with the resurgence of my Xeno obsession with newer games in that series. I went back and replayed, thanks to all the hype recently for God of War 4, and everyone seems to be so excited. So I finally sat down and played God of War 3, a game that has been sitting in my backlog forever. I enjoyed God of War 1 and 2, played those when those came out. I played both the games on the PSP. Really enjoyed those on the PSP. Ghost of Sparta was, in particular, more than Chains of Olympus. So I really enjoyed the series. There's no reason that I hadn't played 3 other than that. Busy playing other games, and you only have so much time in the course of a year to play games, and I'm really happy though that kind of got me to say, alright, I'm finally going to check this out. I was playing it the other night and finally got through the game today, and it was a great experience. I'm glad I finally put an end to that storyline, that conclusion, as the series now has gotten sort of a soft reboot in a way, / continuation, difference in style, and fantastic game in every way, because it was exactly what I was expecting, which is great and is everything I wanted it to be. At the same time, that's why I'm excited for this new God of War, because I feel like after playing those games, and I don't really have any interest in Ascension, I've never really wanted to play that, but having played then those 5 other games and kind of getting the same experience over and over again, a good quality experience, but still the same feeling from every one of those games, after a while I wouldn't be interested in this new God of War. It was just kind of the same thing. I'm interested because it is sort of a soft reboot, and there's a big change to a lot of the style, both in terms of gameplay and the type of story that it's telling and that type of thing. I think it needed that sort of refresh in a way, for me personally, to continue to be interested in the series. God of War 3, I only have one kind of minor complaint, but it's not even... to me, it's not really the main focus for God of War 3. Overall, I thought I wasn't quite as invested in the story in this. It was still what it needed to be and was very entertaining and was exactly what you expect from a God of War game, but it just wasn't quite as interested overall in what was really going on compared to the first couple of games. It was more about the situations that I was in, and the different puzzles, and the different the drive forward, and lots of the combat and stuff, like chasing Hermes was really great, and just leading a constant forward momentum through the different levels. And I was more enjoying what was happening rather than why it was happening. That's my little complaint, but for this type of game, it's not as big of a complaint as it would be for a more story-driven game. It was good for what it needed to be. It was good enough for what it needed to do to propel this game. It upheld what was there enough that I can't really say that really hurt the experience in any way for me, because it's not really my focus. If I want to play a really, really good story, I'm not playing God of War. I'm playing God of War for the incredible production values, and the game looks and sounds gorgeous. It's just a crazy showpiece every time one of these games come out. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for the gameplay. I'm looking for just the over-the-top, crazy, epic fashion of the entire experience, and that's not a word I really like to use a lot unless it really applies, and for God of War it applies in particular because that's what it is. Everything about it is about being epic and over the top. Everything is extraordinarily violent and unnecessarily brutal, and the music, everything about the music is so just huge and bombastic, and everything about the environments is so intricate in a way that is impressively massive and almost overbearing, where you turn something and it turns this wheel, which turns this wheel that way, and there's gears and sections, and everything's huge. Everything about it is big and in your face, and it's almost an exhausting experience to play it in an entirely different way than something that is just difficult. I've never found God of War games, unless that you play on like the highest difficulty, to be difficult. It's very exhausting in the way that you're so invested, and everything's so intense that it's almost too much if you play through constantly and say, like, try to put it in 1 or 2 sittings. Overall, it's just kind of like it just keeps going and going. It's like when you have a story that ramps up to this big explosive epic conclusion, this big climax, this big finale, and everything is loud and in your face, and it's great. But you have to build up to that, and then it slows down on the other side of that event. God of War is like the entire experience is that. Like that is the entire thing, is that pinnacle. It's, you know, it's not the build up to the big moment. It's just the big moment constantly for, you know, 8-9 hours or whatever it took me to play through this. And that's what I like about the experience, and you know, there aren't a ton of games that I think pull that off so wonderfully, and as far as how it makes me want to play more in the series. And again, after playing, you know, 5 of them, it does get a bit exhausting, and I'm looking forward to the change in the series. But in every way, God of War 3, I was excited to finally play it. I'm glad it lived up to all my expectations. It's not the type of game that's going to be, you know, one of my absolute favorites. It's not one that's going to, you know, pop up on there on my top 200 list. The God of War game is not really gonna make it there for me, but it was exactly the experience that I thought it was going to be. It was the experience that I wanted, and it lived up to all my expectations, and it was what I wanted it to be. It's not, you know, it's a game that is just, it's great to look at, it sounds fantastic, it's just fun to play through, and it really is a great sense of humor. My wife Amanda was watching me play. She was like, laughing her ass off watching me play, because it's so crazy and ridiculous and entertaining, and really that's just what I want from a God of War game, is just a very high production, entertaining experience for a few hours and then move on to something else. And so God of War 3, a lot of fun, and exactly what I wanted it to be. Great experience, and I can't wait to eventually check out God of War 4 and see if really I like it as much as I think I'm going to enjoy it, just from what I've heard from other people, and just from the idea that it's similar enough to make a fan of the old games enjoy it, but it's also different enough where it's more of a fresh experience, not the same thing over and over again.